MindShifter Audio Blog, a place for your mind to grow.
The water you carry while dying of thirst. Why your greatest gifts lie buried. You came into this world carrying something precious, something rare, something that was meant to shine so brilliantly it would light up not just your own path, but illuminate the way for countless others walking in darkness. But somewhere along the way, you learned to hide it. You learned to tuck that radiant gem deep into the recesses of your being, to cover it with layers of should and supposed to, until you forgot it was even there. Until you began to believe the lie that you were ordinary, that you had nothing special to offer, that your deepest instincts, your wildest dreams, your most natural talents were somehow wrong. I need you to understand something that might break your heart before it sets you free. Our culture is designed to teach you out of your gifts, not into them. From the moment you could walk and talk, you were being molded to fit, to assimilate, to become another smooth stone in the riverbed, instead of the brilliant, multifaceted gem you were born to be. The very institutions that claimed to educate you were often systematically burying your treasures under layers of conformity. Remember when you used to dance without music? When you asked questions that made adults uncomfortable? When you created worlds out of cardboard boxes and believed you could fly? Those weren't childish fantasies to outgrow. Those were glimpses of your authentic gifts trying to emerge. But you were taught to sit still, to color inside the lines, to stop asking why and start accepting because I said so. One by one, your natural brilliances were labeled as distractions, your unique perspectives dismissed as naive, your creative impulses redirected towards more practical pursuits. Here's what's devastating about buried gems. They don't lose their value because they're hidden. A diamond doesn't become worthless because it's covered in dirt. Your gifts don't disappear because you've learned to suppress them. They become inaccessible. And oh, the cost of this inaccessibility. You walk through life feeling like something essential is missing, don't you? There's this persistent ache, this sense that you're not living at your full capacity. You achieve things, maybe even impressive things, but they feel hollow because they're not connected to that brilliant core of who you really are. You're like someone dying of thirst in a desert while carrying a bag full of water on your back. The very thing that could save you, fulfill you, bring you alive is right there with you. But you've been taught to ignore the weight of it, to pretend it doesn't exist, to keep walking forward, parched and desperate, while your salvation travels with you every step of the way. But it's not just about you, is it? When you bury your gifts, you rob the world of something it desperately needs. Think about the people in your orbit, your family, friends, colleagues, even strangers you pass in the street. They're thirsting too. They're searching for something real, something authentic, something that speaks to the deepest parts of their souls. And you, walking around with your treasures locked away, you hold exactly what they need to see. Your buried gifts aren't just about your personal fulfillment. They're about the healing your unique perspective could bring to a broken conversation, the innovation your natural curiosity could spark in a stagnant industry, the hope your authentic expression could ignite in someone who's forgotten how to dream. When you hide who you really are, you create a world where everyone is a little less nourished, where brilliance goes unrecognized because it never gets the chance to shine, where solutions remain undiscovered because the person carrying them has been convinced they have nothing valuable to offer. I know you feel it, that deep, gnawing dissatisfaction that comes from living disconnected from your true nature. That's not weakness. That's not ingratitude. That's your soul crying out for alignment. You are not designed to live a life that contradicts your core essence. When you spend your days pouring energy into pursuits that don't tap into your natural gifts, you're essentially trying to run software on hardware that wasn't built for it. The system glitches. You burn out. You feel exhausted by things that should energize you and uninspired by achievements that should fulfill you. The misery isn't just a byproduct. It's a signal. It's your internal guidance system screaming that something is terribly wrong, that you're living someone else's definition of success, while your own treasures remain untouched, unacknowledged, and unused. So what now? How do you begin to unearth gems that have been buried for so long you've forgotten where you put them? Well, it starts with recognition, with the radical act of believing that you do, in fact, carry something precious. That those early instincts weren't foolish. That those dreams weren't naive. That those natural inclinations weren't mistakes to be corrected, but treasures to be cultivated. Pay attention to what lights you up when no one is watching. Notice what you do effortlessly while others struggle. Remember what you used to love before you were taught it wasn't practical. Listen to the compliments you deflect, the feedback you dismiss, the encouragement you can't quite accept. Your gifts have been trying to get your attention your whole life. They show up in conversations that energize you, the problems you can't help but to solve, the moments when time seems to disappear because you're so absorbed in what you're doing. Here's what I need you to understand. The world doesn't need another person trying to be someone else. It doesn't need you to perfect an imitation of someone else's gifts. It needs your specific, irreplaceable, absolutely unique combination of talents, perspectives, and passions. Your gems aren't just valuable, they're necessary. The particular way you see problems, the specific way you create solutions, the unique way you connect with others, these aren't luxuries the world can do without. They're essentials that only you can provide. The tragedy isn't just that you're not using your gifts. It's that by not using them, you're depriving the rest of us of something we desperately need. You're keeping water locked away while we're all dying of thirst. I won't lie to you. Excavating buried treasures is hard work. It requires the courage to disappoint people who prefer you diminished. It demands the strength to trust your own instincts over external expectations. It asks you to value your authentic self over your acceptable self. But consider the alternative. Continuing to carry water while dying of thirst. Continuing to hold treasures while living in poverty. Continuing to possess exactly what the world needs while pretending you have nothing to offer. The gems are there. They've always been there. They're waiting for you to remember their worth, to brush off the dust of other people's limitations, to hold them up to the light and watch them sparkle. Your gifts aren't selfish indulgences. They're sacred responsibilities. The world is waiting for what only you can give, and you've been carrying it with you all along. It's time to open the bag. It's time to drink deeply. It's time to let your light shine so brilliantly that others remember they carry their own precious gems too. The treasure hunt begins now, and the treasure you're seeking, it's been inside you all along.
The MindShifter Audio Blog, a place for your mind.